Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, how one community is taking a hit over future planned power outages.
Bad news for all you Bay Area Dungeness crab lovers.
Young kids learning how to play golf. And it's not just about the sport, but about life lessons as well.
Plus, a tribute to the nation's veterans on this day of remembrance. All that and more next on Urban Nights Update.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. I'm Ryan Gamboa. Gabe Manitok is sitting in with me, and here's what's happening. The impeachment process of President Donald Trump is continuing to cast a dark cloud over the White House. President Trump says that he is preparing to release a transcript for a second phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The testimony released previously revealed that the White House pressured Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter before $400 million in military aid would be released. House Republicans have said that Hunter Biden and the whistleblower will be called to testify in public hearings next week. Trump has said that this new transcript will be released Tuesday and claims through the entire impeachment process, Republicans have never been so united.
The state of California has halted more than 400 marijuana business permits because of the failure to upload their inventory data. This has affected both retailers and distributors and has forced them to put their sales on hold. Approximately 385 out of 7,392 licenses were suspended. All they have to do to get it back, complete and upload their inventory data so that the ones in charge can keep track of the supply of cannabis via the Florida-based Matrix software. A new development and what may be a factor in vaping injuries and deaths. The Centers for Disease and Control Prevention has found that all samples of lung damaged tissue contained traces of vitamin E acetate. Many people had believed that the e-cigarettes were the cause of these lung diseases, but they were wrong. The CDC has been advised people to stay away from vaping while they investigate the reasoning behind it. And a recent CDC report stated that vitamin E does not belong in your lungs and could be the reason for the type of damage your lungs have.
People living in Paradise, California are celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Camp Fire. November 8th has been proclaimed Resilience Day in honor of all of those who were affected by the deadliest fire in California history. Ceremonies were held in Paradise and Magalia to remember the horrific event with 85 seconds of silence commemorating the 85 residents who lost their life in the blaze. Resilience Day is and will be a time to celebrate the pioneer spirit of the community up on the ridge. Mandatory PG&E power outages around the Bay Area and the rest of California are leaving residents in the dark. The demand for backup generators in homes having them flying off the shelf. I took a trip to Red Bluff, California and witnessed the concern that many homeowners are facing. The quiet farming community of Red Bluff, California is one of the many cities affected by PG&E's mandatory power outages. Residents like David Gamboa struggled to find stores that had enough backup generators in stock.
We ended up finding a generator in our local Home Depot, but we had searched around in the Bay Area and Vacaville area and we couldn't find one. And we were lucky enough that Home Depot in our town had gotten a new shipment in because they were preparing for another shutdown. So we bought ours and the second round of shutdowns happened and we were fortunate enough to power our refrigerator and freezer. We would unhook it and watch TV for a couple hours, but other than that, we had no lights, no power.
The average cost of a 3,500 watt generator runs about $650, which will only power a fraction of a home. That cost does not account for fuel, extension cords, and standard maintenance supplies. Red Bluff, with a median household income of $31,000 and a poverty rate of 25.3%, according to DataUSA.com. Buying a generator for many Red Bluff residents may be out of the picture. Pete Saramonto shares his thoughts after buying a generator.
The money and funding that I spent on a generator, I could have utilized the efforts of that money and funding elsewhere. We got a high school kid and a kid in college. could have done other stuff with the money.
Many residents like Pete have been forced to find ways to continue life when the lights go out. Now, I went to Redding and spoke to some sales associates at Sportsman's Warehouse, and they told me that many families have traveled all the way from Humboldt County just for a coffee percolator. Another associate told me that one of his big struggles while working at Sportsman's during the power outages was having to tell a mother and her 2 children that an ice chest will not save her food when she can't afford to buy a generator to feed her children. Sportsman's Warehouse, Lowe's, Dick's Sporting Goods, and Home Depot were wiped clean of camping supplies, but are now restocked in most items for the next planned outage. Red Bluff residents have been forced to surrounding towns in search of supplies. Changing times for a small community, hardship is going to come in more ways than one. In Red Bluff, California, I'm Ryan Gamboa for Urban Nights Update. Utility companies tell us that the mandatory outages will continue for at least the next 10 years. Experts recommend stocking up now with as much supplies that will fit within your budget. This preparation will keep you comfortable when the power is cut.
A setback for all you crab lovers. California's commercial Dungeness crab season will officially start on November 22, 7 days later than when the season was originally supposed to begin. This is due to a settlement with an environmental group over whale entanglements and commercial Dungeness crabs fishing gear. The good news is that the season is planning to open before Thanksgiving, when more and more people are eating crab instead of turkey. There's a big recall at the Whole Foods for more than 100 vegetable products. The affected products will be sold between October 10th, 2019 and November 4th, 2019. Customers that have purchased any products, you may return them with a valid receipt. These products can cause Listeria monocytogenes, which can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections. Speaking of food, there has been a recent phase going around about a plant-based diet. The question is, everyone is wondering, is this actually healthy for you, and what are the benefits of going on this diet? Here we have Alex Golombewski with a story.
Braylon has been plant-based for over a year now, but it's not always a choice for some people. For centuries, we have been taught that meat is the way to go if you want to gain weight and be healthy. But what people secretly don't know is that animals are just the middlemen. Think about it. What do animals eat? That's right. Animals eat plants, so it only makes sense to eat plant-based things. Not everyone believes that this is the correct way to live, but for some people, it has saved their life and allowed them to live everyday life with ease. Here we have Braylon, who will share his reasoning behind his diet.
So basically, at the beginning of the year, I was having an issue with my stomach. I was having acid reflexes, and I talked to my doctor about it, and pretty much she just told me that because of my family history, it would be better for me to switch to a plant-based diet so my digestion system can work better.
Now that we've heard someone who's been on this plant-based diet, let's hear from someone who's on the production side of it.
A store called Whole Foods is a popular store where people go to get fresh products. We got a chance to interview someone who works here and explain how this plant-based trend has affected the demand for certain foods. He requested not to be on camera.
Hey, so what's going on? This is Aaron at Whole Foods. So basically, I would say it's a pretty big trend. A lot of people are trying to get on board with a healthier diet. So I would say the sales have pretty much increased over time. However, people are still into meat that is grass-fed and not actually plant-based, so those are still selling as well. But ultimately, there is a higher, spike in sales of plant-based meats, and also there's still pretty steady sales of regular-based meats. So ultimately, everybody seems to be getting what they want.
You will be surprised on how your body reacts to certain foods. Meat isn't always the answer. Plants are the new way to go, and it's healthier and actually tastes amazing. Here in San Francisco, Alex Golombewski with your Urban Nights Update.
Wow, that made me hungry. Plant-based foods can be expensive, but may be healthier for you in the long run.
A big medical mistake at a group home in Oklahoma this past week. 10 people were accidentally given a shot of insulin instead of the flu shot. All of them needed to be hospitalized. 2 of them were employees of the facility, and the other 8 were developmentally disabled people who lived there. A big health problem is invading schools in the San Francisco Bay Area. According to a report by TV station KPIX, they're reporting that young people are in danger from counterfeit pills that contain fentanyl. According to one interviewee, kids began taking what they thought were Xanax pills, copying behavior that they saw from their favorite rapper videos. But what's happened in the meantime is what led to opioid usage. Now many of them laced with fentanyl, which is very potent and can kill in even small amounts.
Running may help you live longer, but more is not necessarily needed to keep you healthy. The new research from British Association of Sports and Exercise Medicine shows that regardless how long you run, you can still get life-lengthening benefits. According to the new analysis, non-runners are 27% more likely to die compared to runners. And this record is even true for runners who don't have a long history of running. As long as you run, you will get health benefits. Water is cheap and makes us hydrated, but drinking large amounts of water a day may not be the best idea. According to a professor at Appalachian State University, excessive water drinking can cause overhydration. Then what are the good ways to consume water? The professor suggests sipping a small amount of water at a time. Another good way is to drink water before or during meals or snacks. If you want to be effectively hydrated, slow and steady water consumption is the best idea.
More millennials in the U.S. are suffering from severe health problems like depression, hypertension, and high cholesterol. This will cause healthcare to skyrocket while lowering incomes in the coming future. According to the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, between 2014 and 2017, rates of depression have increased by 31%. The effects of these trends could be life-changing for the United States and its economy. Healthcare in the United States is already expensive enough, and it's only going to get worse for the future generation of young adults if changes are not made. On Veterans Day, veterans are showered with love as businesses across the nation are offering services such as free haircuts, car washes, flu shots, and even free gym memberships. While several stores have weekly or everyday discounts, some are offering extra for the federal holiday. All you need is a proof of service, such as a military ID, VA papers, or even dressing in your uniform. On behalf of all of us here at Urban Knights Update, we thank you for your service.
November 11th, the day that the people remember the military men and women who gave their lives for the country. San Francisco honored the service and sacrifice of the U.S. Armed Forces with the 99th Annual Veterans Day Parade. Rabah Wali was there and has the story.
Somewhere in this jungle, there's several hundred North Vietnamese soldiers who could wipe out this little American unit to the last man.
I'm a Vietnam-era veteran, and I remember what it was like when I came back.
If the advances in technology allowed the war to be broadcasted, yet it is also true that once back, Vietnam veterans faced scorn. They suffered from their reputation for a while, but fortunately things have changed, and the whole America is proud of their heroes and grateful for their many years of past service. Today, this is their day. At the San Francisco's Veterans Parade, they come here to commemorate their many years of past service, surrounded by the ones they once fought for. The annual Veterans Day Parade that took place yesterday shook the Fisherman's Wharf as it reminded Americans of the brave men who once protected their beloved country. Colonel Bullard gives us his thoughts.
Gives them a chance to reminisce a little bit and to feel that people appreciate the sacrifices that they made so that we can live the kind of life that we want to live today.
It is great to finally get the chance to go out and hear the applause from the people and hear the words from the people about our service, whether you're Vietnam or Korean or World War II or since then Iraq, Afghanistan, you name it, to hear the support that is currently engendered within the population. It's a major paradigm shift for someone of my era, of my background. So I'm happy to see it, and I'm happy to be a member of doing it.
These soldiers represent the 1st and 2nd Filipino Infantry Regiment of World War II. Here is Colonel Marion Matondon.
It's wonderful to be honored, to be recognized. I think we need a lot more of education to spread the word of the sacrifices that veterans have done. And to have days like today is definitely an honor for us all.
For veterans, there is no better feeling than being honored by the ones they fought for, especially by youngsters, who will hopefully become veterans for peace. It was Rabah Wali for your Urban Nights update.
People in the UK and Canada commemorate November 11th by calling it Remembrance Day and wearing a poppy flower pin on their lapels.
With Veterans Day behind us, that means Thanksgiving is just ahead, which also means Black Friday. The day after Thanksgiving used to be the official kickoff to the holiday shopping season, but now that there's so much competition with online and brick-and-mortar stores, some retailers are trying to get an early jump. Target has begun advertising Black Friday specials that are available now. Among them, Apple Watches, $170, and iPads 10.2SS at $250.
For all the Arty fans, Selena Arjona Arcazar has the updates and how the season is going.
Hi and welcome to the sports segment. We have a lot of victories today and more from the urbanized team. The cross-country team keep killing it in the field, starting with Hasna Carroll, who placed 12 in the over 186 runners at regionals, what led her to hit the provisional time for the NCAA D2 National Championship. But that's not all. This girl also broke her own personal best from the past PacWest Conference, making her the runner of the year. This cross-country runner is getting stronger every race. The women's team also did great, taking the 16th place overall. In the other hand, also have the men's team who placed 10 overall. And talking about more victories, the women's basketball came on stronger than ever this year. They already started the season winning the first 2 games of the year. One of those teams that they beat was Concordia, a team that they have lost against a few times last year. But the urbanized women's basketball team wasn't going to let that happen again. They beat Concordia, but they showed fight. There was a lot of stress and it was tight, but they won by 2 points. It was very close, but the urbanized kept fighting until the end. Also, the men's basketball team is not staying behind. In the PacWest CCAA Challenge, the men's team took a victory 64-60 against Sonoma. Let's see what their coach's expectations are for this year.
Our goal obviously this year is to compete for a PacWest championship. We have 15 upperclassmen with 7 returners and 8 newcomers that have all have significant basketball experience. And with the PacWest being as tough as it is, you need mature, older players that come in, and that's what we focused on in our recruiting efforts. And from the very beginning, we wanted to create a culture that really is trying to, night in and night out, come out and compete, play hard, and execute what we're trying to do. I love our team's versatility. We've got guys that can play multiple positions. We have different lineups that we can go to, and I'm really excited about seeing which of those are going to be best throughout the year. And we've got a lot of, proven scorers and guys that fit the positions that we're looking for. So really excited about the strengths that we have coming up for this year.
We can see that the coach really has trust in his athletes and has high hope for them. The volleyball team players also have a fight this past weekend, giving Point Loma a good fight at conference, starting with a score of 4-1, but Point Loma wasn't giving an easy fight. They tied the game 14-14 until they won the opening set. They kept fighting the whole game, but Point Loma took the victory. They have more games left in the season. Good luck to the ladies. Everyone definitely looks better than last year. That was all for the sports segment. Back to you.
Thanks, Elena. To stay on the sports theme, I was able to look into how golf has become more popular to the youth. With the help of organizations like the First Tee, they have helped make the game more meaningful for kids.
Back in the day, golf has been known as a sport for older people. Because of its slow pace, it didn't really attract the youth. However, organizations like the First Tee have helped grow the game through different programs. They focus on shaping the lives of kids by teaching them different values. Executive Director Dan Burke explains how.
Speaking specifically for First Tee and what has made it unique, and there's been millions of kids that have participated in the First Tee around the country, is learning a life skill such as perseverance through an activity. Like instead of worrying about the golf itself, it's really like, here's a ball and how hit it over the wall, and you keep trying to do that until you figure out how to do it, and that's how you learn perseverance. Learning these life skills and these life lessons, that's really the goal of what the First Tee is trying to do. Growing the game is actually pretty much a byproduct of the program, but ultimately, especially with all the problems in our society in America, especially for kids, is we're trying to provide them and arm them with values and life skills that'll help them in life, not only on the golf course, but more importantly, off the golf course, in their classroom and at home and in their jobs and hopefully in college, etc. And that's what's been a big differentiator for the First Tee program and why it's worked so well.
But to hear it straight from the kids, we were able to talk to Manny and Joseph to tell us what the game of golf has taught them.
Golf has taught me to persevere, because every time you hit a bad shot, like you feel like giving up, but it taught me to never give up.
Golf taught me independence, to learn to just do things by myself, just to be okay with it only being me and no one else watching, while I continue to keep on trying to get better.
It is clear that golf has gotten more attention through the years. With the opportunity to get a free education or to travel around the world to play and learn life skills, golf can definitely make you a more well-rounded person. In San Francisco, Gabriel Manitok for Urban Nights Update.
The First Tee holds its clinics in 4 locations around San Francisco. For more information, visit their website at www.thefirstteesanfrancisco.org.
Have you ever wondered what it's really like to be in a sorority or fraternity outside of the cinema? Well, here in our studio, our own Amaya Campos Crespo gets the inside scoop of what Greek life is about at the Academy of Art. Amaya?
Welcome, and we're here with Alexandra Archibald, the president of the sorority at Academy of Art. So Alexandra, what is the name of your sorority and when did it start?
Sigma Delta, and it started in 2012.
What does your sorority stand for?
We like to empower women in the community and come together as a group, like family, like sisters supporting each other.
What are your duties as a president of the sorority?
I oversee all the events and rush things that go on in fall for Sigma Delta. I am in charge of our meetings on a weekly basis and making sure everything goes well with the sorority.
Why did you decide to join?
I originally didn't think I was going to join a sorority, and then I came here to Academy freshman year and went to the Club Mixer and signed up for more information. And I liked how everyone came together, because it's not like a traditional campus where you can just walk around and meet people easily. You're kind of in 1 or 2 buildings, and it was nice to get involved and go to rush events and meet other people, make new friends, and it really felt like a family, and that's why I joined.
How would you say other sisters are like in that sorority?
Everyone's outgoing. We all have different personalities, and I think that's what makes us all come together and all contribute different things to the sorority. Some are shy, some are super outgoing, but I think we bring the best out in each other, and that's pretty much it.
So I know there's a lot of stereotypes when it comes to sororities with inclusivity. So how does Sigma Delta stand out from that?
I think there's stereotypes completely, when people watch movies and see sororities and frat, and you get that kind of idea of what a sorority would be like, but Sigma Delta is different, where we all come together, we're all different personalities, from different areas, and we don't just accept people just because they have a certain hair color, they look a certain way. We're not about that. We're about including everyone, and everyone's equal. That's the main point, I think, of what Sigma Delta stands for, and empowering each other and women in the community.
Well, thank you for the interview. Back to you.
Thanks, Amaya. Let's head over to our entertainment segment and see what Rabah Wali has to say for us today.
Hello everyone and welcome to the fun part. Motion pictures and television have always been my passion, and I'm going to share it with you today. Let's start with Martin Scorsese's appearance at the Castro Theatre last Tuesday for a special screening of his latest film, The Irishman.
Love you so much.
After premiering in New York City and Los Angeles on November 1st, Scorsese chose to come to the Castro as he considers it a place that's very special for cinema, with a great projection and a wonderful audience capacity. After opening a limited theatrical run last Friday, it will be available on Netflix on November 27th. The 3.5-hour movie about the lives of aging gangsters played by Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci and Al Pacino is one of the most talked about films of the moment. Here is a glimpse into Scorsese's newest crime film.
You gotta sit down, everybody says so.
No, I'm not sitting down, I can't do it!
It's what it is. What it is. I know things they don't know I know.
And the reason why Irishman is playing in theaters before being released online is because Netflix wants it to be eligible for Oscar contention. And now, if you have never seen the wonderful BBC wildlife documentaries on Netflix, it is time to. Our Planet, the BBC's latest documentary series released last April, is just insane. And here are some clips that will blow your mind. Narrated by National Treasure David Attenborough, this series draws you into the magic of wildlife while addressing issues of conservation and the human's impact on ecosystems.
The ability to tell that story in almost every country on Earth at the same time via Netflix brings the possibility of an unprecedented global understanding of the one place that we all call home.
But now the question is, do we actually know what it takes to produce this series? A behind the scenes of that was released over the summer makes us realize how much patience and dedication it takes to get such astonishing shots. Here is how it looks like.
Oh my God! That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's just a few hours old.
Be careful in there. That's a lot of sharks. It's a weird mixture of fear and excitement.
That was unbelievable.
This is 2 years of work for just minutes of footage.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rabah Wali for your Urban Nights Update.
That wraps up this edition of Academy of Arts Urban Nights Update. I'm Gabe Manitalk.
And I'm Ryan Gamboa. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back next time.